going to try and make this bridge as a sine distance function. And so I'm going to start right now from where I am with this template, and I'll just explain it quickly so you know where I'm coming from. So we have some hash functions. We've got noise. We've got a FBM, so fractal Brownian motion, rotation functions, the SDF box. We're only going to be using boxes here for all of the shapes in this bridge. This I'm going to delete it. We're not going to use this right now, so I can get rid of that. And we're going to have the map function, which is going to be actually not all of this stuff either. Then we have the we have the trace function, which is the ray marching function. We've got the normal function. We got the ambient occlusion function, which is gonna be the only real like shadow here is from the ambient occlusion function. And then we've got the ray calculation, the actual, and then at the end of it, you got all the actual coloring or the lighting, and that's it. That's all there is to it. All right. So let's get started. And you can see the lighting on my closet behind me is just top notch right now. Excited about that. Let's go. So, so this is the reference. We're making this. I'm gonna try my best right now. Let's do it. So, first thing that you need to know, the main thing that we're gonna be talking about as I make this is gonna be a limited repetition function. So we have a sine distance function for a box, and we're going to repeat it. So I'm going to start with showing you like the basic repeats, and then we'll move towards the one that we want here. So let's just simplify this. So we're just going to do an SDF box, and it's going to have P, and then it's going to have the size of the box, which will be like 1. That's probably too big. And then close the sine distance function. All right, so that's a big box. Let's make a smaller box, slightly larger box. Come on. So now, if we want to repeat that box, we have a few methods of doing that. The first one is we take the P. So P is the position that we are in space, and the boxes are always drawn around the origin or with reference to the origin. So if we can repeat the origin, so like you have like a grid and then zeros in the middle. So if you had a way to repeat that 0 somewhere else, then you'd have another box there. So there's a few ways to do that, but they involve things like the fract function. So if you take fract of P, you would get all of the space would go from 0 to 1 and then repeat again from 0 to 1. That's what fract does. So it basically removes the integer component of every point in space. So you just get a bunch of zeros to almost ones. If I do that, you're going to get a bunch of half boxes. To get the full box, you've got to subtract 0.5 so that all the spaces now have negative 0.5 to 0.5. Boom. Now we got full boxes, but they're too big, so you can't really see them. I'm just going to make them smaller so you can get the idea. Boxes, right? So, and we can rotate the boxes around so you can see what we're, like, that's a cool, like, little thing we got here, okay? So now if you want to have something a bit more, versatile, instead of using the fract, you would use the mod function and give it some separate value for the spacing. So this is basically repeating the fract, but now we're using mod. And instead of not that now, we're going to change it. We're going to change the spacing. So mod is like the modulus of value. So it's basically you're dividing P by 2. Well, you're saying what is the remainder of P divided by 2, and that is the value that we return. So like anything divided by the modulus of any point in space will be something between 0 and 2, and if we subtract 1, it's something between -1 and 1 now. So then you're going to get the boxes, but they're going to be spaced apart more. And we can just talk about one dimension by using x here. So we're only going to be looking at the x value. Now we have just like a row of boxes that goes on forever, both directions. And we can make the boxes closer together by using like something like 0.5, so smaller value than 1. Now they're really close together. So that would be a good starting point for making this bridge, because as you can see in the bridge, it's a bunch of boxes that are really closely spaced together that form the main kind of like horizontal of the bridge. But we don't want like a infinite bridge, so we want to have like a stop point for the bridge. So instead of using this, we're going to do something else. Instead, we're gonna find another way to create those spaces, those zeros, by finding the integer value and subtracting it from the p, like separately. So let's show you what that looks like. So that looks like this round, and then px, and we could just say that will also give us, so round is basically like you're rounding. So from anything like from negative 0.51 to up to negative, so positive 0.49 would round to 0. And for every integer value, it's the 0.5 on each side that gets rounded up to that value. So if we take the round away, if we take that answer away from every point in space, sorry, I was talking way too far away from the microphone. Yeah, so we're taking the round value, which gives us the integer around the 0.5 to 5, or sorry, the negative 0.5 to 0.5 of every integer. So, no, sorry. The 0.5 below the integer to the 0.5 above the integer, whichever integer, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, they are going to be rounding to that integer. So if we take that integer away, then you get a bunch of spaces that go from negative 0.5 to 0.5. So that should give us that, which is similar to what we had before. So that gives us the opportunity now to clamp it. So instead of having it go for forever, because we're subtracting for all the values, if we say we're only going to subtract the IDs from negative 0.3 to 0.3, or sorry, from negative 3 to 3, and then everything after that, we are just going to let it continue. So like, we'll just do a clamp, negative 0.3 to 0.3. So now we've stopped it right there. So then we can talk about spacing again. So let's create another variable called space, because this part is a bit more interesting. So if that's our spacing value, then what we're doing is we're going to divide the world by that spacing value before we start everything. So basically we're saying what was going from 1 to 2 is now actually just a 1 to 1. So everything is kind of getting smushed together more. But then we're going to multiply the clamp by that value again, which means the resulting integer is now going to be extended. So we took a smaller space. Well, basically we took the space and we just saw it as closer together, but then we multiplied all that close together space by that larger number. So we're going to get a larger space so that we space things out more. So now we'll do the opposite. Instead of 2, we're going to use like 0.5, and that brings everything closer together. So now we have a limited repetition with controllable spacing, variable spacing. I don't know. So now we could talk about the actual things, that thing that we want to do here. I was blocking the code the whole time. My bad. I was blocking the code the whole time. But can you see what I did there? I have clamp, round of the spacing, the p divided by the spacing, and then we multiply by the spacing again. And if that spacing is 0.5, now we're actually expanding the spacing. So we're actually looking at a smaller area as a bigger one, and then subtracting a smaller ID to get smaller spacing. It would make more sense if I could draw it, but for the purposes of this video, that's all I'm going to say. And then we are going to, and also this is all from IQ, Inigo Quiles' blog, so it's on there too, under like a SDF repetition. You can find that. So let's do a little bit of let's like actually look at now the shape that we want to have for these things. There's only a few main dimensions or dimension ratios in this. The one for the bridge bottoms, the one for the main side pegs. Yeah, so let's start with that. So let's go, what do we want? We want 2, no, we want like very small x. We're going to make the bridge this way. So x is going to be the width of these things. So if it was 1, now it's going to be like 0.2. Yeah, like a fifth of the current width. And then the height will be the same as the height will be even less. It will be like 1. And then the length, which is going to be this way, that's going to be like, I don't know, 3. And then let's see what we get. Missing a comma, that. So that looks a bit off, but we'll just do this. That looks better. Maybe like that. Why not? And now let's go ahead and not, well, yeah, we have to reduce the spacing more now. Like that. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Hold on, you guys aren't seeing this. Let me blow it up a bit for you. That's the wrong way. Yeah, that's what we got. Look at that. We're starting the bridge already. So I'm listening to Tiesto, so gotta, you know. All right. So what do we want? So let's count. I'm gonna count how many of these there are, and I'm actually gonna try to remember to close it after. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my God. 1, 2. Oh please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 on each of these things, right? And then another 10, and then another 10. So basically like 30. All right. So we're gonna go 30. So we want to do 15 and 15. Boom. That's our. That feels a bit long, but I feel like also they could be further away from each other. Like, that's too much. That's like that. I could also make them shorter, but not too short. Like I could go 3, 5. I feel like yeah, like I could do that. I could feel comfortable with that. Now, and also look, I mean, maybe it's not actually 30. I don't know. Like, fine. So there. Okay. Next up, we're gonna move back out with the camera a bit so we can start working on other aspects of this thing. Let's go to 2. All right, so we can see things. And I think I want to go like higher. I guess that's okay. That didn't go. It's just kind of like did that. All right. So we got the first one. So another thing that we can do, which is kind of tricky and like there's a better way to do it, but I'm going to do the really rough way right now, is try to rotate each of these a little bit individually and do some warping so that we can get something looking like individual. So to do that, we're going to turn this into an ID. So we have an ID for it. And we're going to put that ID back. And also we're going to put that ID here. So we're going to start to get colors now because I have an ID as part of the color function in the main function. So yeah, we got some colors. It looks good already. Okay. But we can mix those colors up using a hash function. And I think I'll do that now. No, I'll do that after this. Hash 1, 1. That's a one-dimensional hash function. I just changed all of the values. And we'll scramble a little bit more. And now we're going to rotate all of the p values along the z, y axis. P, z, this, rot, ID, but yeah, with the hash value. So it is a hash value. Okay, so make it a small rotation on each one. There's already some artifacts, but do you see what I'm going for? Like, it's not just straight now. It's like just a little bit of rotation. We can avoid most of the artifacts. I like it. Now I want to have a little bit of waviness because wood is often not completely flat. Although when you're making a bridge, you're going to have pretty flat wood. That's true, right? But, oh, another thing, I want to rotate it on another dimension. How about we rotate it on the XZ dimension? So rotating it like this so that the pieces look kind of like, let's see. Hold on. Yeah, so we're rotating it like that too, but just a bit, not that much. Yeah, just something. So it's a rickety bridge now. Okay. And then we're gonna have some of that. So the Y is the height. So the Y of like the position is like where the bridge is. So if we change the Y position, like of the world, as we build this block, or for each of these like boxes, those boxes will be wavy. So let's just take that and put a sine or put a cos in and put that ID in. And that's going to give us too much waviness right now. That's in the wrong component, sorry. Whoops. So we wanted that to be on the Y. So let's just take this, move it over there. So that just did that. Everything is just moved up. Okay, so now we can play with it. All right, so we need more. Right now, that's only ID. It's not actually involving the space of the world. And we want the space along Z. So we're going to add Z, PZ, the original P. Oh, I forgot to do one thing. We're doing everything with P right now, which means the next thing that we do, it's going to be starting with that P. We want to have like another P. So let's take a vector 3 called PP, make that P. And let's do everything with PP so that we preserve the original point value. Now we can use the original point value here and still get a really interesting result. Now, this. So right now, that P is only going from like, you know how long the box is? The box is like 0.3 long. So imagine like something from like negative 0.3 to 0.3 going into cos. The changes in that are going to be very small. So we want to multiply the P value by something large so that we get more waviness. If we multiply by like 8, for example, whoops, if I cannot have an error, please God, then we get lots of waviness, right? Because that's like closer to being like the full pi of what your cosine would give you half of the curve. We could do 12, get even more than that. But we want to have the ID bigger too so that we see more changes in between them. So like that or something. So now it's like completely messed up. But now we got to bring this down. Let's bring it down to just, yeah, we only need like that much. And then we'll reduce the amplitude to something like that. So now it's just like a bit of waviness. Tiny bit of waviness is causing a ton of artifacts, so we'll just leave it there. But see what I'm saying? And in fact, we could just do this. That's okay. All right. Let's continue. Now we want to add these. Oh my God, I'm blocking the whole thing again. Is anyone talking? No viewers. All right. I have to find a better way to show that diagram. You know, it'd be cool if I could have a way to only show it when I'm holding my mouse down, like holding a key down. That would be ideal. That would definitely be ideal. Anyways, we got that. I did that. Yeah, I'm getting the work in. It's fine. So now we're gonna move on to those pegs. So we're gonna have 3 of them. Well, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 on both sides. So we're gonna use like an absolute value. But we're gonna make 4 and 3 of the x's in the middle. So technically it's like 3 of these fence things. Yeah, but let's do 4 pegs. So another new P, taking the same P from before, another SP, we don't know what it's going to be yet. Another ID, we don't know what it's going to be yet. And then we're going to start to repeat stuff. So we're going to make that X. It's going to be X again. We're going to take away the clamp ID. And I don't know. Oh yeah, I said it was 4, so like 2 on each side. Fly. So let's say -2 all the way to 1, because 0 is one of them. So that's that. But ID, right? Okay, so round P dot X, no, PP dot X, and then we'll divide by SP. And then we're going to take this T value, we're going to make an H value, just semicolon there, H. So now we're passing in the box and an ID for H, and we're going to finish that by actually adding the H to the T, which is using my define function that I have at the top that does that. So, and then I'll just make this a box again so that we can see it clearly. Don't have to fight to know what we're doing there. And we'll get rid of all of this stuff. So it's just the basic SDF. and the dimension. Okay, and the ID. So there's boxes, but they're using the ID from, like they're using that ID. Oh. Uh, well, what happened there? PP. Okay, hold on. So P, and then PP, and then ID, and then PP. So that's good. And then we got P again. So PP, round. So I guess the S, we could do that. And these boxes could be smaller. So that's pretty cool. So that's 4 boxes. The way that they're set up, because it's like an odd number. No, it's because it's an even number. It does feel kind of like 2, 3, 4. Like this should be shifted over to one side. First, let's increase the spacing, like that, or like that, and then yeah, like that, and then we can move it over. So yeah, we'll move things from the beginning before we even do anything else. That's too much. That's too much. Still too much. Something like that looks great. Now, there's definitely a way to, like, instead of hard coding all the values, I'm sure there's a way to just decide what everything should be, but that's something that I might have to figure out after I do the stuff. So right now we have this, and it looks like it pretty much fits the reference. You know what? I'm not liking the artifacts on this one. I'm just gonna go like really light there. Let's see. There. Like I don't mind it just being just bare. It needs to be moved over a bit. Like that's about right. Okay. So we're gonna move them out to the sides. We're gonna have double them and then move them out and then change the actual shape so it's the shape we want. So let's go. And then the idea is gonna be both of those things, but later. So first we're going to do, I guess it doesn't matter which we do first, but we're gonna, on the Z axis, we're gonna use the absolute value of that Z and then like do that. That's close. It's very close for like a guess. Whoops. Something like that. And then the rest we'll figure out once we start changing the shape. So yeah, let's change the shape. We don't want that. It's like pretty much half of that. But then the height is going to be closer to 1. And then the width is going to be the same because it's like a square based thing. Wow, what? My bad. Okay, so that's too large. That's pretty good. So actually, it needs to be higher, unless we want it to be the type of bridge where it's like, like there's the types of bridge where it's suspended, and the type of bridge that it's like lying flat on an obstacle or like on a kind of like a thing. So we want it to be the flat one in this one. So I'm gonna reduce the height, and I'm gonna move it up, and then like that, and then like that, maybe more, or just reduce the height a bit more. I think we can get away with that because we're gonna add something on top. There. So that's cool. Now we can reduce I feel like this should be thinner, but actually that's okay. So for the X, instead of that, I feel like it should be like, wait, no, sorry, we're talking about the Z. For the Z, yeah, it's like should go into the thing a little bit. That's what the original looks like. It's going in like that. That's pretty much it right there. We're like, even like that. Okay. Um, yeah. Now we can go on to the X's. That's like the hardest part, but I kind of do want to tackle that now. Well, also we can add this like with the same thing, same heights and everything. We just want to add something on top. So it's gonna be basically a square. well, there's two things. There's a smaller thing and then the square on top. So let's see, for that smaller thing, it's gonna be like narrow like this, and then I could just, well, yeah, let's see, so p dot y, it's gonna be higher by just a tiny bit. There you go, you can see it now. Let's go like, whoops, I think that's okay. I don't know, like that, and make it wider. One, two, like that, and then we'll add on another block box, so higher again, and we're gonna go full box. What? So let's see, so full box, where is it? Oh, it's down there. Okay, gotta move this up now. Too large. There we go. That's looking nice. I think these should be maybe wider. Yeah, I wouldn't do more than that. Okay, now we're gonna grab this whole thing because we're starting on another aspect of this, which is gonna be that fence, and that's gonna be a top and a bottom, a left and a right, and then X's in the middle. So let's see. So it's gonna be 1 to 1 because it's just gonna be 3 of them. And what else? Let's see what that looks like as just boxes. Whoops. Cool. So we got to move them over. Let's start with like not having them moved at all. So that's like dead smack in the middle right there, I think. Well, anyways, we'll see. But so yeah, so we got that, and we're going to, instead of, so on top of doing it on the Z, um, yeah, this is tricky. So instead of just doing it on the Z, we also want to do it on the X, but this is now for the smaller thing, like, or on the, yeah, on the X here, like that. Whoops, but like less, like that. Oh, what is happening here? I guess it's supposed to be after then. Yeah, okay, so after that, now we can do, yeah, there we go. So now we're duplicating it. Change this. We want the height to be like 2, but we want the width to be like quite small. And then the height, wait, what are we doing? Yeah, but that should be height, and then same width, no, like even less of the width, we'll call it. Yeah, like that. All right, so now we'll just make sure that that's like against the sides, which means this or that. Perfect. Looks great, I think. Yeah. Now, we need to do the same thing, but for the Y's. And I don't know that we need to do a different one, but let's, just to be safe. So we'll keep everything the same, but now we will, oh, no, we're starting another one. So back out to here. And instead of this, gonna do Y and Y and change the dimensions so that now this one is the width, like that. All right, so now we're seeing that we want to increase, I think, either the length of these or the height of those. And I want to go for the length of these. So let's go ahead and go like 4. Okay, 6 or 5. I don't know, we'll find it. There. 7, I guess. Yeah, there you go. So we got that now. Now, there's a way to make all of these unique IDs also. I don't know that I'm going to worry about that for this video. I think I just want to make it happen in general right now. Oh, right. And these things are below the thing, so they're not supposed to be. So I need to move these. I need to move these down and this up. So, oh, so I guess they should be the smaller ones because they literally have to be right where they're not right now. So let's do that again. And then let's reduce this to like that. Yeah? Or even more. Something like that. All right, now we can increase the size, the width again. Yeah, I would just do that. Yeah, that's good. Okay, now we're gonna do the X's, the fun part. We can make X's. Let's go back over, grab all this. And let's see, we're gonna keep the Z's. We don't need this actually, and here it did nothing too. And then we gotta have the spacing, but we're gonna make 2 X's. So 3s, 3s, Y's. We don't know what the Y's will be yet because we're not doubling it. Except we have that Y, that's good. Now we're going to do a rotation. So we're going to rotate along that axis, the plane that we're looking through there. So rotate, it's going to be like some form of pi, like 3.1415. It's probably half of that, or a quarter of that, and then it's probably a quarter of that. Okay. Whoa. I rotated the P instead of PP. So there. Okay, so that's PP rotated. It looks to be okay. I feel like it could be rotated just a bit and then like a bit less, and then the size could be a bit more. And we get that, which looks good. And then we're gonna do that again. So we're just gonna do another one. Rotate the other direction. Oh, right. All right. Do I have to go back the other way? I guess. So something like that. There's our bridge. Well, we're not finished though. We're almost finished though. But besides just seeing how we can like kind of smooth things out, also I want this to be like that on both of them. I want more depth on both of them. I want more depth on everything. Like everything. Whoops. Okay. So, and this could be not so like, whoops. This could be, that's the X one. So that, wait, what? I feel like that could have done that. And this could have done this too. And then this could have been just wider. No, this one, I'm getting carried away now, but let's see. Like that. And increase that like, whoops. And then increase these. Eight. and 8. Okay, and now we're gonna go to the bottom and we're gonna actually add that little piece. It's supposed to be down there. So grab all this, take that there, put that down there. And now we're gonna say we're gonna have 2 really long pieces and not much else. So we're gonna need that at some point. We're not gonna need to do any more IDs. We can create IDs, but it won't create them like that. And then Ys we won't need. And make these really long. Like this is on the y-axis, or sorry, the x1. See what that looks like. So that's going like straight through. So now let's go down. Put them down there. So the IDs are now taking them from the last one. So let's just make these 1 and bring it up. Bring it up more. Bring it up more. I think that's looking good. Okay, it needs to be longer because it needs to extend to both sides. It's too long, too long, too long, too short. Like that. And I want it to be like higher or taller. And then lower. Yes. And now further, I mean, not like closer together basically, but not that close. So that it's still going to be able to help the bridge. Yeah. All right. Are we done? Is that it? This could be, the things could be further apart. All right. So what I need to do now is I need to actually start labeling things because I can't see what I've done. See how that goes? So this is bridge bottom long. This is X side, X part 2. And this is X part 1. And, well, wait, all of this is X part 1. Yeah. And then X part 2. And then this is going to be, let's see, we're absolute, so we're high, so top and bottom will be this. Top, bottom. And I'll know like that means like the top bottom parts of the bridge X thing. And this is left, right, of each X. Of each X. And this will be what? What is this now? Oh yeah, top cube. Top cube. And this is top cube base. And this is like I don't know what you call those, like the pillars. And then this is the main thing. Main bridge floor. So we got a rotation like that. Let's rotate another way to see a different perspective. Get rid of sine. Let's see, have full rotations. How's that looking? I feel like that's looking good. And now it's just about how I can get more randomness. So basically I want to get the IDs out of everything in the bridge so that I can at least color the wood separately, where each wooden plank a separate kind of color. And if possible, I can even twist or warp things a little bit. I don't know how long this has been going for. I guess I can check. That's taken 39 minutes. So yeah, we'll take another 10, 15 minutes on that. So let's go back to just bridge. Let's see. So where do we need more IDs like than what we have? So the IDs already from the pillars, we've had issues in terms of getting proper IDs. We want to have like ID Z is going to have to be if we're what side of the 0 of Z are we on, which gives us that split of 3 and 3 or 4 and 4. So ID Z is going to be float the original P, not the new one, because we absolute valued that. Is it less than 0 or not? That's going to give us a different ID. And then for each of these, they have their own ID too. So now if we add these IDs together and put them in the hash function, now you get a completely new ID for each one. So ID hash 11 ID plus ID Z. Now we got what's something about that still looks the same, but it's not. It just looks the same. Let's add some more values to these to make things really random. Feel like those are new for each one. Yeah, cool. Let's do the same thing. So for the top cube bases, currently they're taking from the same thing as well, but we can add a value to ID to change it, I guess. Then we get a bunch of new IDs. I don't know. Like just hit like 9.1 to everything, and then add 8.3 to everything. Cool. So now those are completely different color, completely different wood pieces and colors. Just in case. Although it wouldn't really matter because they're different shapes, so like the texture applied to them would probably look different, but that's cool. All right, now again, we're gonna get a ID Z since we're splitting the X's, and then we've got the round value, and this is for the top part, or wait, yeah, the left and right. So we also want to divide those left and right based on, ooh. So we want to get an ID for the left and right before we take the absolute value of the left and right. So we got to take that, but of the new P value, because each of those have like a positive and negative half. So now when we get our ID, it's going to be hash 11 of the ID X ID times something plus the ID Z times something plus the ID X times something. And now we got, yes, we can't redefine it. Now we got a bunch of new pieces for every single piece. And now we're basically going to do the same thing down here, but it's going to be Y instead. So before Y, we're going to get an ID Y. I know what I did wrong. I know what I'm going to have to fix right now. I have to change that to Y. And here, change that to Y. Otherwise, that is good. There. So now we've got a bunch of different parts. I think. Why is that looking so weird though? Hold on. It's a different color on each side? What is that? Why is it a different color? Am I doing another like secret thing happening? Is there another secret thing happening here? Let's see. Why is this doing that? Oh, because I use Z instead of Y. Okay. There we go. I think that fixes it. Yep. So we got a bunch. Oh, but so the same thing is happening there because I copy and pasted it here too. Yeah. So this should be X. There we go. And I want to save this. Oh my God. I almost like if I had just not saved that, I would have felt bad. What kind of bridge is this called? Is there a name for this bridge? Unnamed bridge. Y28. All right, so we're gonna go this, and it's not gonna let me because I need to sign in again. So I'm just gonna quickly sign in again because we don't want AI stealing our shit. Okay, we're really sensitive about that. All right, boom. Okay, so now we got IDs for, oh, the only thing we don't have IDs for is that bridge long bottom part long thing. And so we're going to take the ID and we're going to go that. Yeah, there you go. And now we're going to add that ID hash 1 IDZ times something. There. Okay, so now we've got all these colors and we want to make them like more like wood color like, right? So I've got a color that makes things look wood color like down here, which is this. So we're gonna get rid of that. Uh, we can also check out like what the normal looks like. Whoops, hold on. If you want to see what the normals look like, they look like this. It's pretty good, right? Oh, that actually makes me feel like there's too much space there. I want to fix that because it makes it not look like it's a real thing. So the X, so okay, so the bottom, no, it's the top, the left and right, I mean. Let's make that, let's make that down here go hot further out, like, so that it's touching. Is that touching? Yeah. And then what else do we have to fix? And I think we just have to fix the top and bottom. They should be higher and lower. So 7, 7. And then I guess the X's can be, and also if I want to make it realistic, I feel like one part of the X should be coming out above, but that's kind of hard to, no, it's not hard to do. So I have one part of the X coming out above the other one as I, but, but no, let's leave it that way. Let's leave it the way it is. I do that with my fence, but here, I don't want to do that. So X2, I think is what we want to make that 3 instead. So now we've got everything looking nice. No, something's missing. Oh, that's gotta be nice. What's missing here? Is there something I don't like? That's going too far. There. All right, I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this, you guys. That's looking like a real effing bridge right now. So, let's see. And you know, this, see, the thing is, the thing that I didn't do, or that I could have done, but that would have been weird. Like, if I had tried to make, like, this whole X thing and then repeated it, I would still have one extra peg to do. So, I don't know that there's another way to do this. Basically, what I'm saying is I'm happy with how I've done this so far. So we're going to take away this, take away that SN, and we're going to add my wood texture. So now it just looks like spicy effing wood, like good wood. I mean, I don't even know how I'd make better wood than this. Like, do you? Like, I could do that. I could do that. Now that's like red wood. If I do red wood on one side, then it should turn into like blue wood, right? No, that's like turning into pink wood. Like it should turn into like white wood or like more yellow wood. Well, that's green wood. I don't know. Like we could do that, but it's still kind of like, I don't know, like what was it before? Because I randomly stumbled on that, but I think it's better. Anyway, so the hash function is going in there and it's doing that whole thing. And if I were to do anything differently, I might just make this darker, but I'm not totally convinced about that. Like it does kind of change, it gets more range. And then if I do that, then I should do this on the other side so that that gets brighter, like way brighter. So now we have that. That's pretty cool. I feel like it stands out more. And what else? Because we're not gonna go too much further. So now we're gonna add some color. I mean some lighting, sorry. So what we have already is like a way to add sort of a gamma correction to make things look like better. And we could get rid of this version. Only need one at the end. Then that's the ambient occlusion happening at the very end. So before that, we're going to add diffuse and specular lighting. So for diffuse lighting, I've been actually multiplying that in by just going max of our dot product of the light direction, which we'll just create a light and we'll say that it is, whoops, sorry, vector 3 LD, vector 3, 1, but normalized. Normalize, vector 3, and then we put the light in, and then find the projection of that on the normal, and then get the max of that in 0.1, and then we multiply that. So now we got like, it's kind of like this shadow already that's reacting to where things are in relation to the light. Now I kind of want to do like more on the X or on the Y than anything else to get like a shadow that just stays around. But I don't know if I want that shadow there or like below it. No, that's not going to be good. Well, I feel like I want us to be, like I want the light to be in front of us. That puts it there. So that, okay. So I'm multiplying that. Now I want to add on some specular lighting, which is really going to make things pop. So plus, and the specular is kind of like the diffuse calculation, but with an extra step. First, we reflect the light direction, but off of the, so the negative light direction off of the normal. And then after that, we take the projection of that on the normal, the ray direction, but the negative of the ray direction. And then after that, we take the maximum so that it's not going lower than 0. And then after that, we take the power at an exponent so that it's shining. And we're adding that on. It is showing, but because there's not a lot of texture, you don't really see that much of it. But yeah, I could definitely go like 5, and then you might see it more. There's definitely some sort of shine to it now. Like, do you see that? I could also, another thing I've been doing is I've been going like 0.5 color plus 0.5 of the specular. Was I doing it like this or was I doing it on the diffuse? We'll see. Anyways, something like that. And then that. I guess that's cool either way. Anyway, so after that, one thing that's missing is I like to add some noise. So I have a global noise function or noise, yeah, noise function or noise variable. So G noise, and that's going to equal to the FBM that I have already ready to use with like some sort of scaling of the p-value. And then after that, we're going to put that, if I just leave it like this, yeah, nothing happens. Okay, so apply that down to the actual geometry, which is the distance, so that we get some roughness on the actual geometry. That's clearly a little bit too much roughness. It looks like an explosion. Pretty cool, but not what we want. So let's go like down. Yeah, so now it looks like there's this roughness on it. Just kind of like a brushed effect on the bridge. And I don't know how much more there is to say. That's pretty much what I wanted to do, you guys. I mean, like, you could make more, but like if you want it to be wood, then you're not going to go too far. But the other thing is like, what I was trying to do is make everything like along Y more. So like if I do this, but then like this, but then like that. Does that work? It does that. Okay. So like this. Oh wait, like that? Yeah, something like that, kind of. Kind of feels like it's going along like wood. That's what I was looking for. I think I'm good. Let's see. So now let's rotate everything a bit more so you could see everything from all the different angles. See how nice this looks. And I think, can I just go full screen? Yeah, there you go. So what do you guys think of this? Does that look like wood? I really like how the floor came out, but I don't know about the rest of it. Then there's the other thing that we can do is we can actually color based on the geometry, because that's still the same noise, I can take that noise and put it into the color. And I can change that. So, um, take that and add the noise in. But, oh yeah, what I've been doing was I've been adding noise in like with a different color palette to get like a bit of a change to the color. That's too much, right? So let's go like this. Now it looks like that. I guess it's a little bit too the same everywhere. I would add in then, yeah, I don't know. It's having too much of an impact on the whole thing. Here's where I would be like color 9 and then just a little bit of that. And maybe like 3 and 7. No, that's too much, right? So like, yeah, 9 and 1. Okay, how about like 9 and like what, 1 5? Yeah, that's okay. I guess the main thing that doesn't work right now is the X's. But there's like I'd have to rotate. I'd have to rotate just for the X's. And that's kind of annoying. So yeah, this is what we have. If we could rotate the noise for the X values, then the X's could be more chill. But otherwise, I really like how some parts of this came out, while others kind of are annoying. Hmm. I could just be like, if we're not dealing with, like, I could make the X part like some really high value, and then be like, if we're dealing with that, then this. If we're dealing with that, then that. So like, I'll just be like for where is it X part 1, we're gonna make the ID like really high, but it's not the same ID, is it? So why don't we just have something else? We'll be like X part, like signal that it's X part 1. Ah, but I can't. Uh, um, we'd have to be like, if Y is that ID, then do that. So like, just be like, we'll add like 100. ID plus equals 100 gives us one of them, and then ID plus equals like 1,000. This is so fucking, like, excuse my language, so hacky. And then be like, um, then be like if ID, no wait, if, and now it's not even gonna be ID. Now it's like if TY is greater than like 99, then rotate P by like what we rotated that by this. See if that does it. What happened? Can't assign. Oh, rotate in 2 dimensions. X, only the X and the Y. So now it looks like, oh my God. So now it looks like that. Kind of better. But to see, like, I'd have to rotate more. I don't know. And then be like this. Be like this. And then be like, else if t dot y is greater than like 999. Or like 995 in case there's some negatives happening there. Then p dot xy is wrote this, and I rotate the other way. No? Uh, we got it? We're not getting it. We're not getting it. I said X. Oh, okay. Yeah, this. I added another 100 and I added 1,000. So if it's greater than, if ty is greater than 1,000, that we should be rotating the other direction. Why aren't you doing it? Is it moving at all? Like it's no movement? Oh, I have to see that I have to, I don't see anything. So it's saying that ty is never greater than that, but it is. So that's confusing. Hmm. I don't know if I'm going to go any further with this. Save it. But it does annoy me that I can't get the texture to work on the X's properly. Hmm. X part 1 and X part 2, which is supposed to be like this. Don't tell me that worked. Okay, but it's like opposite. It's the opposite of what the way it's supposed to be, though. Um, like that's the opposite direction. And some of these other things also don't work. So it's just kind of like, how far do I want to take this? Because like all the, like I should have had an ID specifying, like if I wanted to do this anyways, an ID specifying what direction things were going in. But I don't know. I think better would be to just have like a noise for the bottom and then another noise for like everything else. So instead of all of this, just have like the ID here be very high, like right before we put it in. Just put 1,000, right? So just the floor is gonna have that. Everything else is just gonna be, and maybe this too, but no, because even the sides don't work there. So yeah, if the ID is greater than 1,000, then this, no, wait, rotate it. Um, yeah, then this. Hold on. So like we're gonna have like a, what is it called? Scale. Um, which is just gonna be all ones. And then we put this in here. And it would be like scale is gonna be something else. So now we're gonna make scale equal what I had before, which I deleted now. How did I end up deleting that? Oh my god. So it's gonna equal 1, 0, or whoops. Like that. And then what am I missing? Scale that and start. Right, scale. So now, okay. So now everything, so now the wooden, yeah, that's better, I guess. But maybe not too much of a thing. I mean, that's gotta have a thing, but like maybe like this. No? Why does it feel so awkward right now? Like I don't want that, but do I want that? No, like I'm used to that. But then this is weird. There, okay. So I don't know, is this better or worse? Because there's like the wood effect is applied to only the panels, but now everything else just has this really weird texture for no reason. I don't know what to say. And let me get rid of the second rotation so we can just look at this the way like where it matters. Oh, It's like the texture's not even applied What happened? Did I just delete something? Guys, no. Oh, I did. Yeah, I did. Okay, so it's just this, but I preferred when there was more noise. And actually, I guess it was like this. No? So that's what we have if everything is the same, which I don't like. And that's the scale. I prefer scaling it up a lot more, like this, or like even more. But I don't remember, I don't know why, because I used to not do that. But then if we do that, then we have to definitely scale down to see the lines there, which we can. And oh, right. And another thing is it's also just that's probably too much, but that's too thin. And I also want to have just more, um, yeah, more roundness in general. Not that much roundness, just like this, just some roundness. And get rid of, yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Oh man, it still looks so weird because it's like, what material looks like that? Like none. Well, if we still have the 1,000, so yeah, we could technically change the material of this. But I don't really want to do all that. I feel like I used to do like this. Didn't this work at one point? No, that never worked. Okay, this, and then this. Or maybe it's just the color. Maybe there's too much color. Because it's not looking like wood. It's not looking like wood, you guys. If I like just randomly like this. I think that's okay. Like that's a pretty good, I don't know, like what can you expect? The only like the X's suck, but everything else is pretty cool. Ah, but I wish I could see the spaces between these. Yeah, let's just fix that. So, space. That's quite a bit of space there. And the bottom parts, bridge long bottoms, from that to that. And now I want to change the angle so that we get a good look at it. Well, first let's go back a bit. No, it's more like this. Okay. One and then that. Boom. And then one and then that. Boom. Oh boy. Okay, we're done. We got a bridge. You can use this for whatever you want. I don't know. Music visualizers. That'd be cool. Because I don't know if you're gonna put that in a game. It could work in a game as like some sort of special effect that just appears and then oh, yes, I forgot. Okay, so now we have the pillars. Damn, I'm getting carried away. It's been an hour and 9 minutes, you guys. I am getting carried away now because I just realized I could rotate everything exactly the way I want it right now. Just the pillars themselves. I can rotate based on the original PY and get something that looks cool. I could do that, or I could do like a lot of rotation so that it's just like spirally, even more rotation like that. But I wouldn't want the blocks to rotate too. That's the only thing. I wouldn't want to do that. I would just want to do like this. Whoops. Rotate like that and leave everything else the way it was. So then, whoops. Oh, can I do that? No. I'll just make another P. Oh my god, sorry. That's a hotkey that you're not supposed to know about. And then just do this. So I rotate only the ones I want to rotate. Everything else stays the same. So we have this now. And we can rotate as much as we want. Like, what if I rotated it double that amount? That's a bit much. I actually don't know if I even want it rotated. But that's okay. Like, just some rotation. Yeah. And it'll, yeah, so what I was saying is, like, you can rotate the whole entire bridge, man. Like, um, right now we're rotating the R, or we're rotating P, but we're rotating P the same way everywhere. We can rotate something not the same way everywhere. We can, we're going, like, the bridge is going along the X, so we can rotate the Y and Z specifically by, like, the Y, or by the, by this. That's cool. Now, see, now that's rotating a lot because we already have another rotation. If we put that first, then it should be just like a specific, yeah, now we just have that. It's kind of like Ganondorf's, I mean, Forest Temple type shit, which I like. But just something. That's cool. But so there's a lot of room to like do stuff to this. And like if I just extended the bridge out forever, it would be cool too, but I kind of like this. It's just like a bridge. It's like what has happened to this bridge? Like who's walking on this bridge type thing. Um what else? The other thing I could have done was like take PY and then change it based on the sign or the cos of PX. And if I did that instead of the rotation, then I would probably get, then I could get like a bridge that kind of bends, basically. Just automatically get a bendy bridge. But not the way that, like, I wouldn't want to make a bendy bridge this way, I don't think, because why is there artifacts when I do that? I feel like there shouldn't be artifacts when I do that. But this isn't the problem. That's not the problem. I don't know. I guess it's just too much bendy. I mean, because you could even go like triple the bendy. See, that's too much bendy. So I don't know what you're complaining about. So I haven't even started bending. Could do this. Like that. Boom. Now the bridge has bends in it just a little bit everywhere. Wow, that's actually really cool. Look at that. So now this bridge is just suddenly bending all over the place. In a way that's like, you know, yeah. So there's an option. I could do that and the twist. That's cool. Yeah, you guys. Thanks for watching. Wait, yeah. So thanks for watching me make this bridge out of sign distance functions in Shader Toy live in Windsor, Ontario. I'm giving away my fucking address. Yeah, and and I hope to see you in the next one. This has been an awesome video, awesome fun time, and I've been listening to Tiesto this entire time and having a great time. So I hope you have too. Oh right. So before I end, I'm gonna actually publish this shit. I want everyone to see what I made. You need to write at least one character for what? Oh, I tried to publish the comment. My bad. Okay. See you in the next video, guys.